Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Sulk stream. I'm your host, the Incredible Sulk. I hope you guys are doing good. Everyone's doing good. Everyone's doing good. Tonight we're going to do mediums. People that talk to the dead. People that find stuff out from the dead, like they're communicating, doing some sort of ritual or something. You know, it could be demons. I don't know. Or it could just be straight up psychosis. But some people think that dead people lead them to solve crimes and find people's bodies and stuff like that. That makes me extremely suspicious, by the way. How are you finding all these bodies unless you're the murderer? I cracked the case. I solved it. It was pretty easy. To think that dead people even stay in this dimension is kind of a weird thought. What makes you think that they're here with any sort of evidence or ability to communicate with you whatsoever? That's a stretch. Honestly, that's a stretch. But whatever. You think what you want to think, and if that makes you feel special and thinks you can talk to the dead and extort money from people that have also had lost loved ones, then I mean that's on you. It's a little fucked up. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little fucked up. But there's a lot of fucked up things that people do. So is it the worst? Is it the most of the fucked up that people do to take money from people? Maybe not the worst, but it's not good. It's definitely not good. Anyways, I hope you guys are good. I hope you guys are feeling great, achieving your dreams, being good cult members, pay your tithe, going around talking about the Sulk stream. That's very important. That's very important. We've gotten a lot of new followers recently, so I know you guys are doing your jobs. About time. Oh. And we changed the music. All right. I'm down for a vibe check. How's the vibe? Is everyone good with the vibe? I think I'm okay with the vibe. Yeah, I'm okay with the vibe. So, yeah, this particular documentary, I straight up didn't watch it. I'm going to be honest with you. I watched maybe 10 minutes, maybe. But I watch a lot of stuff throughout the day. And, I'm going to get the gist. A lot of times, I like to play it without overviewing it, but, God, this is a lot. It's a lot to do, okay? And sometimes I like to be surprised. So, here we are. Getting ready to be surprised. I hope you guys are too. So get comfy. Get cozy. Get a nice bottle of champagne. Pretty sure that's how it's pronounced. And, let's get loose. And ghostly, maybe you guys can channel some ghostly thoughts or ghostly money, which I imagine is crypto, because it's not real, and it might be gone in a few years. Honestly, that'll be interesting. If you're driving, keep driving. If you are working, my hat's off to you for still having hope, or just trying to feed yourself. I get it. Anyways, guys, welcome to the Sulk stream. I'm the Incredible Sulk, and this is called The Undeparted. Enjoy.
The soul is a curious thing. I used to think in my lifetime we would find a cure for death, but now I'm not so sure.
No cure for death. Doesn't matter. No, there's no... I mean, there could be a cure for aging. A cure for literally every ailment that could afflict somebody. Sure. Not death. Not death. You will die. That is the essence of being alive. If you cannot die, you are not alive. So, you're going to die. Just be okay with that. You might live 1,000 years. You might live 10,000 years. I don't know. But eventually, the universe is going to collapse. There's going to be some sort of heat death or a big crunch or whatever theory about the universe that you ascribe to. It's going to happen. And it is going to be the end. The sun will expand way beyond our orbit. It'll cook us alive. But even if we're not on Earth, I'm just saying, it's inevitable. All right. So there's no cure for death, but maybe there's a cure in philosophical terms. I don't know. We're not there yet. Maybe we'll be there soon, though.
So what does it mean to be alive? Is it possible our loved ones could still linger near? Could some be trapped here with us?
Background Ghost says, I spoke to a ghost. He says, boo, that'll be $250, please. He was a medical ghost. He was a doctor ghost. You don't want to trust doctor ghosts, especially if they're taking their own advice, because they're dead.
Or could something else be going on?
So it must have been one of those ghosts that thought Mercury was going to make you live forever. Like one of those old-timey 1800s ghosts. Yeah.
Boo!
This guy just tried to scare me. I don't like that. Not a fan. Not a fan of being scared. Actually, I do. I like scary movies. But we can't watch them anymore in my house because my wife detests them now. Wasn't like that before. Wasn't like, you have a couple of kids and, you know, shit changes in your brain. And, not my brain. I still want to watch horror movies. But she doesn't. I didn't have the kid. I didn't push it out of my body. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. It doesn't seem fun, but she's into it. She's like, yeah, we'll do it again. I'm like, okay. You know, like when you kick somebody in the balls and they're like, yeah, more. And you're like, all right. All right. Is everything okay? Is it? Knob, obedient, background noise, Ardenshire, despite what you've heard. How's everyone doing? Good.
This table is where this story begins. My wife decides she wants to buy this table, and she asked me if I'll go with her to the antique shop. When I first see the shop, I find it odd that she would pull over and walk into a shop like this. But I see it differently now. Everything and everyone has its moment, and then we all grow old and slow down. For the shop at Sand Hill, the big highway took with it the busy life. But the location is still full of memories, and the items inside may not be ready to be forgotten. Rebecca is the owner, and she's the mother who breathes life into all the items. Her fiancé Stephen is more of a guide and storyteller as you search within. It's kind of like visiting a place of unwanteds, but everything is a treasure to someone.
An antique blue moon sign.
And so I find myself buying this table, and
Not
Rebecca
quite
says,
antique.
"Would you like some sage with that?" And to which I reply,
That's not a good sign. If somebody asks me if I want sage, if I'm in an antique store and somebody says you want sage with something, that means it's haunted by ghosts, multiple ghosts, and I'll pass. You know, you want to check under that table for any pentagrams, too. You never know. You never know.
"For what?" On the way home, my wife and I consider about the idea that maybe we're bringing a ghost with this table. And so
Yeah.
when we get home, we actually use it.
Do porn stars have ghosts? I guess they don't have souls, so they can't be. Because imagine having the ghost of a porn star in your house. You're just eating dinner with your family, and then you hear a random moan. Like, what the fuck is that? Is there a whore in here?
This age because it can't hurt.
It's a whore ghost.
Later, I go online and do some research, and apparently,
Yeah, gotta
many
cleanse
people
that.
believe
Gotta cleanse that old furniture, Scott. You also have to Lysol the shit out of it, right? Because of the porn ghosts. She saw there was a scene on top of it, And yeah, I don't have to explain more. Do I have to explain more? Do I really have to go into this gross joke deeper? I don't think I do.
That
I don't think I do.
spirits can be attached to tables and chairs.
Obedience says, I think that's called American Horror Story, John. I tried to watch that. And I'm like, this is for girls. This is a girls show. This is a dumb girl show, and I'm not interested. There's too many gay stuff. There's a lot. It's just weird, dude. I'm not into it. I tried watching it. Blech.
And jewelry and all sorts of items like that. And it really piques my interest.
Despite says that show sucks ass. Well, good, because I didn't give it much of a shot in the first place. I watched an episode, maybe two, honestly. But then I was like, this show sucks ass. So we're in agreement there.
More about the location at Sand Hill, but there wasn't much information to be found.
Background noise says it's not so much about the sounds, it's more the smells with the porn ghost. Yeah. I mean, what? Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, you don't want the haunted smell it comes with. So that's why they burn sage, because sage is a very powerful herb that can, cover up the worst of porn shoot smells. They actually do it at the porn studio, the porn factory.
Is the front largest part of the building was built in 1840, and there are 3 segments behind that could be much older. The location has served as a convenience store, a post office, a roller rink, and currently the antique shop. Another interest I found is within 2 miles of this location once stood the Henryton Sanatorium.
Sweet.
This old tuberculosis hospital was considered extremely haunted.
Hold on. I thought a sanatorium was where they kept crazy people, not tuberculosis-riddled people. But I guess back then when you had tuberculosis, it was a death sentence. So they just kept you there so you didn't infect other people, but also just died. You just died. Just die. Then you die. And then they bury you. And then more people die. It must have sucked. That must have been a bummer.
Part of me just wants to return to my normal life, but another part of me can't let it go. And I call a few of my friends, and we head out to Sand Hill to see what goes on at this shop.
What goes on?
Obedience says sanitariums are quarantine zones, many become asylums later on. So people don't go into them, right? And asylums have a long stretch of being, well, at least in the earlier years, the early 1900s, asylums had a reputation to be not so great. People would put their family members there and just pay the hospital to take care of them for life, especially if they were like severely disabled and couldn't. And they would be fed occasionally, and they wouldn't be changed, and they let them roam around. It was basically a prison. It was a prison with crazy people, which must have been terrifying. Terrifying. But you're already crazy, so what's it matter? At that point, what's it matter? No one's visiting you. Nope. Nobody's visiting you. They might get a phone call when you die, but they also might not, right? Because that would end the payments. So I'm just glad I'm not crazy or tuberculosis riddled in the past. I'm crazy right now.
On here a lot is a lot of mischief.
And I get to live out on the street. We're doing whatever I please, right? Just a blight on society.
Items are moved. Lights will flicker when there's nothing wrong. At times I think Rebecca's upstairs. I hear things as if something has been dropped, which will happen when she's moving things.
JD, he has your hat. He's wearing your hat.
Upstairs, or the stool falls over, but then I realize that she's not upstairs.
Stereo on and off all the time, just blasting in the middle of the night would wake us up, and I'd go down and unplug it. Or power tools turning on by themselves.
You have to be here and experience this, and then try to say, well, it was the wind, it was this. It's not. Rebecca left keys on her desk in the office. They disappeared, only to be found 5 or 6 weeks later. So
she's an airhead, or she's a stoner, or something like that. That's not. I mean, that's not unusual. Or maybe, what was her name? Vanessa or something? Maybe she just likes to drink. Maybe she's one of those low-key alcoholics that keeps beers in the toilet tank. Or the old couch syrup, right? She keeps it in the cushions of the couch. She pulls it out, and she's got a nice tight buzz going on most of the time. But you don't tell the difference unless you get real close. That's why she's constantly burning sage, right? Because she's an alcoholic.
The water fountain, partially
She's stone
blown
drunk
out
all the
on
time.
a different level of the building. So these things happen, and when you experience them, there is no, okay, the keys fell, they were kicked, they went on the thing. Keys don't travel from one floor to another by themselves.
Knob says, I think this is a place Ryan Sickler told the story about his comedy special. I don't know who Ryan Sickler is.
Rebecca and Stephen followed the day-to-day happenings at the shop with stories from ex-employees, clients...
Scott says, ooh, check out the old hand-cross cut saws. Are you seriously looking at the antiques? Are you antiquing through your computer? I can't be like one of those Disney people. You know how they only sell certain Disney merchandise in Disneyland? And then there's those people that go to Disneyland and shop for people at Disneyland, and they take like a markup of like, I don't know, 25% or something like that. I can't do that. I can't go antiquing for you. Or maybe I can. Maybe I can. I might be able to do that.
I wanted to hear directly from these people, so I asked Rebecca if she could bring them into the shop.
I never really believed in ghosts, but after some of the things that have happened around here, I would definitely say that view has changed. One time, me and my coworker, we were actually in the back. I was sanding, he was working, and turn off the sander, and we'd hear this child's laughter. And I looked at him, he looked at me, we gave each other a really weird look, and we went and actually investigated, and sure enough, we were the only two in the building.
I used to live here with my mom and my two sisters.
Okay, so old houses, like, I don't know. Do you want it to be haunted? Because, like, if you're like, this place is haunted. My house isn't the newest house on the block. I don't think it's haunted. You hear stuff. Do I hear stuff? I don't know. I just don't think my house is haunted. So I don't hear children laughing. And I don't, like, go and look for sounds. You know? I might hear things. But then I immediately disregard it because I'm not crazy. Again, maybe I'm crazy, but it doesn't matter because I'm not looking around my house for ghosts. That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to do. If you're like looking through drawers and stuff like that. Is there a ghost in here? No, there's no ghosts in here.
We would all sleep up here, and my mom would still work the shop downstairs. And I was about 8 years old. I was sitting in the living room to my left. Nothing was really going on downstairs, and I heard a voice right next to me.
He said very clearly, the voice of a boy, child, spoke to him and said,
"Hi, Graham." And I called my sister, asking her if she said something. She said no. And now that I think about it, there's no way that she could have said it, because it was as if someone was talking right into my ear.
I was here by myself one night, late, working on the trunk.
I want to wait until people have like those brain, like Elon Musk has those Neuralink things, right? And then I'm sure a lot of people are going to get them. There's going to be a holdout against getting them, but eventually a lot of people are going to get them. I can't wait till people actually like jailbreak those and then just haunt the shit out of somebody, right? Because you could just make them hear things. You can make them see things. And who's going to stop you? No one's going to stop you. Nobody's going to stop you. So that'll be pretty funny. I'm just saying. That'll be funny. I don't think I'm going to get one, but I might. I might. I don't care.
Turned off.
Let's rock and roll.
Then
Shit's
I
getting
just
weird.
Felt this really negative sensation.
Well, you are a woman.
You know, like textbook, cold and here on the back of my neck, and felt like someone was trying to tell me, it's time for you to go. I can do whatever I want to do here. This is my place.
I came
Nobody
in here,
told you
took a
anything.
few steps in, and instantly kind of had a
Gay? Gay? Gay.
feeling like static electricity, and I felt cold hand wrap around my left arm.
He was a little taken aback. And, of course, I welcomed him back. Come back anytime. And he said to me, well, I don't.
If I have a ghost, man, if I have a ghost, if there's a ghost issue in my house, I'm not going to be like, come back anytime. If I'm hearing things coming out of the walls and shit's moving around, I'm not going to be like super welcoming about it. You know, I'll be like, get out. And who knows, that might honestly work. Because we have no idea. A lot of the fear that derives from ghost is the fear of the unknown, right? So you might just be able to ask the ghost to leave and he'll leave. Or it might not be a ghost at all and you're just tricking yourself because you're bored or lonely or crazy or you want to be special in some way. So you think the dead communicate with you. They do not. I'm pretty sure they don't. I'm pretty sure. Again, I don't know.
I want to, really.
I wasn't ready for that type of experience.
That
Background noise says, I want to be malware like Megabyte. That'd be cool, right? Just jump into people's heads. Just literally possess them, right? Just technologically, not spiritually or anything like that. You just technologically possess them. And then you gotta have some pretty good hacker skills by then. Or maybe it's not possible in any way. It'll be fun. 5 years. Give it 5 years.
people cannot come in to this shop and feel and say what they say if in reality there was nothing going on here. This is a very active building.
Maybe they have unfinished business here on Earth. Maybe they were taken too early.
People may still be here trapped because they don't want to be separate.
Despite says, in my 20s, I lived in a house in St. Augustine, which is just up the road, with a grave in the backyard, not one even close to one ghostly experience. He worded that a little weird, but no ghostly experiences for him. So, yeah, and Augustine is known for their like ghost tours and stuff like that. It's it's the oldest town. It's the oldest city, apparently, in the United States. It was the first to incorporate or something. But yeah, they have a lot of ghost tours, and I've been there, and it's a lovely city. And yeah, no ghosts. I didn't see any ghosts. Saw weird people, but no ghosts.
Separated.
Did you dig any of them up, despite what you've heard? Did you go do some grave robbing? Or you think those graves are all robbed out? We're going to do grave robbing, right? That's part, because all these boomers that are going to start dying off real quick, a lot of them are going to be like they were in life and extremely greedy. And so I imagine a lot of them are going to be buried in their best jewelry. And a lot of them have very expensive jewelry. And, you know, you can hawk jewelry, but it doesn't, I mean, you don't get much, right? You hawk a diamond ring, you get barely anything. But there's lots of dead people and lots of graves. And I don't think it's a crime to rob the grave of a boomer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that's a crime.
So I'm no expert, but if these stories are true, then it seems like there's a real diversity of activity going on at Sand Hill. So before I get ahead of myself, though, I do want to tell you a little something that happened to me. I went into the bathroom, and there's a little eyelash
Despite says no, but I did accidentally pee on it. I'm sorry, you peed on graves at the graveyard? And nothing. Just nothing. I think that's definitive. I think that's fair and definitive proof that there's no ghosts. Because if you pissed on my grave, I'm coming back, you know? I'm coming back, and I don't know what I can do. I don't know, like, the list of powers you get. You must get some sort of powers when you die. Otherwise, these people wouldn't be scared. They're not going to be scared of just some jerk off in their house or some porn ghost, right? They would just be an annoyance at most. Be like, ugh, the smell. Open a window. I have this horror ghost that keeps coming in. And, yeah. You shouldn't piss on people's graves. But there's a lot of people, and you don't know who's buried where, so it's kind of forgivable, too. So maybe he was just super chill about it.
Hook, and I locked that hook, and then I turned around and used the restroom, and I washed my
There's just a fat dump in there. You might not have seen it. There was no dump.
hands and grabbed a paper towel, turned around, switched off the light.
Background says maybe the spirit in the grave was into water sports, or maybe it just had a piss fetish. You ever think the ghost you pissed on was German? You ever think that? And he was like, So maybe that's the case. You don't know. There's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of unknowns when it comes to this ghost hunting stuff. Literally all of it. People walk around with like those tape recorders trying to catch something, and then they walk around with like, photon meters. I don't know the exact name of the ghost hunting gear, but just you get my point. They don't find nothing. Have for years. Never find a thing. Give it up? No, they can't give it up. You know why? Because the Discovery Channel and the Travel Channel are paying them pretty well to act scared. To go to these asylums, to go to these abandoned graveyards, and act like something's like grabbing their ass or something like that. Okay, yeah, I'll take that job. It doesn't sound like a hard job. It sounds fun. You get to travel. Why not? Why not? There's literally zero stakes.
Unflicked the switch, and then I turned around to throw out the paper towel that I still had. And I heard the latch relatch, and it was relatched.
Oh, no.
So the skeptic in me does some tests, right? I basically relatch, and I keep trying one-handed to flick the switch up and see what happens. And I can't get that latch to relatch. In fact, it's so tight that when you hit it with one hand, it flicks way back, and there's just no possibility for it to relatch. And then I take this story upstairs and tell Rebecca, who laughs and says, it's not the first time this has happened. So
I don't believe
all
Rebecca.
These stories are intriguing, but I want to know what's going on. And I think that, for me, bringing in a clairvoyant made a lot of
Background noise says Scheisse, which is German for shit.
sense.
And yeah, maybe they were in the Scheisse, Scheisse, pissen. Pissen is also the German word for urine. Or piss, Did we just shorten it? They actually have in Denmark, they have these little urinals just out in public, and they call them pissoirs. I thought that was lovely. And they're just right out there in the street, just right out there. You get a little tiny screen, but like everyone can make eye contact with you as you're walking by. You're just sitting there taking a piss. I guess a lot of people are just drunk.
When I first walked into the space, I was truly overwhelmed. This building seeps with spirits and energy. Coming down the hallway, I got a sense that there was a path.
You ever think it might just be bad wiring? Because these old buildings, they might not have the best, they might not be up to code with their electric grid inside of them. Bad wiring can affect people. There's certain magnetic fields that can affect people. And then you can suffer things like hallucinations, weird feelings, tremors, and stuff like that. It could be like your house is haunted, but really you're just getting blasted with radiation. or some weird magnetic field. That really happens. That really happens. But people never think it's their Wi-Fi or, it's their, it's the wires in their wall or something like that. No, they're just like, it's ghosts. And it's just ghosts. It's just ghosts. So if you're not even like planning on doing anything about it, why are you even talking about it? I mean, if somebody comes over to your house and like the chairs start sliding around the floor, I'll be like, yeah, that's the ghost. Sorry. I don't mention the ghost because, well, I'm not going to do anything about it. But yeah, that's the ghost. That's the porn ghost. Yep. She had a lot of abortions too. So she's like a Russian stacking doll of ghosts. It's just a bunch of ghosts inside of ghosts. Yeah. It's a weird sound at night.
Pathway
It's
somewhere within this structure and from the outside of the structure that spirits were coming and walking a path and following that pathway and then coming into the house. There had to be an opening somewhere because they need an opening. They need a doorway or a window, some way to come in smoothly. And
How do you know that? I mean, is she talking like a physical doorway, or is she talking like a portal of some sort, or is she just talking about like a person that allows them into their body, as it were? Art and Sherry says, these days you could have a good time as an agent with all these targeted individual business. You ever think about doing that? You know, the people who think they're constantly being followed by, and I guess they're called targeted individuals, but I've always wanted to follow one and like put different outfits on, like mustaches, and like color my hair and just change and just follow him around and stuff. Just to see his face. I got a lot of time on my hands, so I can do that
easily. And when I looked at the big door, that was it. I knew that was it. There's a big gap at the top. There's a big gap at the bottom.
Okay, so it's a physical door. So how do you know it's not rats, dude? How do you know? Okay, how do you know it's not rats? That's about a rat-sized gap. So, and rats move things around. They do, right? I mean, and they knock stuff over and they make weird sounds at night. You might just have rats. And that looks like a place that would have rats, It looks like a place that would have rats.
Very easy access for spirits to come and go.
And rats.
It almost creates a flow of energy coming
of
in
rats.
and going out.
When I first walked in, especially the front door, the way it was positioned, it just felt like there's lots of hiding spaces.
I do that.
There are some things that feel like echoes of a story, and then other things that are much more present.
There's some dark energy. There's some energy that's also heavily...
Despite says, I had sex in George Steinbrenner's mausoleum once. No ghosts. Don't know who George Steinbrenner is. It sounds familiar, but... Was she a goth chick? Because, I mean... Rad. Right? Rad. Rad.
Ridden with anger. And then there's spirit here that has a lot of grief. And that grief bothers the angry spirit, and those two are not getting along very well.
There's a sense of power that this spirit has now that I think he craved in life but never got.
But there were others on the other side.
He just lost. Just a big loser. Loser ghost.
I believe that went into the real workspace back here where a lot of actual work is done.
OBNTS says goth chicks are the best. I don't have an argument.
And I felt very different spirits back there.
I mean, they're like depressed and they talk about like death a lot and stuff like that. So, I mean, and they're like weird. And I'm like, yeah, you're checking a lot of boxes. Check.
Helpers. They feel very close to Rebecca. And there's one young lady back there that misses her mother, and she feels very close to Rebecca.
You know, I bet one of the ghosts doesn't have a dad. It's the porn ghost.
Upstairs, it's a much more open floor plan. Energy flows a little bit better. It's a little bit brighter. The ceilings are a little bit higher. And so I got pulled over to kind of the wall that became the closet because it didn't feel right.
In the room where the children's toys were, there was a little horse, a little horse for little children. There was a child on that horse, and I asked her about the room behind. I didn't know the screen was blocking the doorway, but I knew there was a room back there. And she said, you don't go into that room. Nobody goes into that room. And I said, why? Is it a bad room? And she said, it's
rape room. Rape. That's the rape room.
It's not
That's
a good
the rape room.
And we don't go there. And I said, okay. So I wasn't going to go there, but then we decided to move the screen. And I felt it was more coming from beneath.
A dungeon. Okay, I get it.
The structure and coming straight up. The energy that I felt in that closet was very dark.
I mean, if you can have a rape dungeon, why have it like in your house where you get like stains and stuff? It's just like, just have it in the dungeon.
It felt cold.
It felt very stagnant. It felt very bloody.
Background noise says she never got enough love from dad in life, so she spends the afterlife covered in ectoplasm. Story as old as time. Sad. Sad, but we all know where it was. We all know where it was. You know, it's the little ghost, and then the 5 guys dressed as Ghostbusters behind her. The far
and part of it,
and then she
I was
just
trying
gets
to see if it was attached to the room, and it wasn't.
exercised.
It was more about attached to the land.
You know,
so it felt like something violent happened.
I tried blinking.
It had a harsh.
I don't have the ability to blink. I not blink, but wink. When you do it like one time, that's good enough.
Voice. I
nailed it.
Went down the steps, and they're
I nailed
very
it.
old stone steps. I could.
She crosses
feel
streams. Yeah, these are all good
something
jokes.
coming
These
from
are all good
the
jokes.
earth.
Background noise.
On that area of land that the home either got built over or it got refinished or something, but just a very, very present sense of death.
As we went into the space, I could
They do. They literally have a dungeon. I don't. Where is? So you guys said this is in Maryland. Do they have a lot of basements in Maryland? Some places don't have basements. We don't have basements here. In California, we didn't have basements either. This place has basements, and this is an especially ominous basement with the stone. And if I had that basement, I'd make the coolest dungeon. The coolest dungeon. It would be legit, dude. It would be dank and dark, and then no one would leave.
feel desperation.
Alive.
It felt like pain. Almost to the point of horror.
This was like a flashbulb moment in time of pain.
Strawberry says most homes in Maryland have basements. I wonder why. I mean, there has to be a reason, but I just wonder why.
And just overwhelming fear.
Something happened down there. Something that was not so good.
Thought says everywhere in Ohio has basements. That's where shit goes down. In Ohio or in basements? Because there's nowhere I would want to be less in my entire life than in a basement in Ohio. If I'm in Ohio, something went terribly wrong. But if I find myself in a basement in Ohio, there's the police need to get involved. Okay, that's just it. I'm going to have to fight my way out somehow. But I'm prepared to do so. I'll leave some ghosts, you know? I will. God, there's something very threatening about a basement in Ohio. What the fuck am I doing in Ohio? And in a basement.
happened down there.
Something traumatic happened here, there was a death here, and now there is an opening.
And that has created a portal.
A portal.
That's opened up, and that's what's come up through the house into that room behind the screen.
That one specific.
Wait, I was talking too much. So what caused this portal? What is it, just a basement, or was it like a sex dungeon? Like, I assume all mid-Atlantic basements are. What else do you use a basement for? Storage? No. It's to do things where you don't want people to know that you're doing things. And that's probably why they're all in Ohio, because people in Ohio do illegal things.
Because it has such a feeling of violence to it, is only gonna attract the more violent types of spirits.
Critical Thought says party shit, sexy shit, ghost shit, everything happens in basements. Yeah, okay. No, you explained it. Just whatever you don't want people to see goes on in basements.
And that portal.
Okay.
Really
That's
needs
cool.
to be closed.
Harriet had mentioned the portal, but on day 2 when Monica mentioned the portal, I kind of got chills.
Okay.
Having intentionally kept them separated, it really surprised me. I have something else to tell you. I had been reviewing the footage, and we had accidentally left a camera rolling after an interview.
Okay, let's see it.
And the interview chair moved.
Did it?
It was so subtle that at first I thought it was just in my mind. And then I looked closer, and I zoomed in on the frame.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it moved.
All right.
I had thought nothing was going to happen on this shoot.
Rats? Possibly? I don't know, dude. Maybe it was the wind. I'm just saying that's not very dramatic. You didn't catch something like flying across the room or even just floating across the room. Because if something flies across the room, somebody threw it. The cat. God. But, all right. That's something, though. Well, I'm going to go ahead and give that to him because I didn't see anything make it move. It could have been the wind, though. It could have been a string off camera. But, hold on.
But then, little things seemed to be happening. And it was fascinating.
Rebecca and Stephen, I've been through
My
your
bitch
shop
goes.
from front to back, top to bottom, and you have a very diverse group of spirits here. I mentioned to you earlier
Okay.
there was a little girl upstairs in the playroom.
All right.
I feel there's a young woman in your office, okay? And then there's some not so good spirits in the back and underneath the house or the structure.
Would we be able to find out the little boy's name?
Johnny,
Johnny. That's wonderful.
He's guessed.
he's been here a long time, and he likes watching what you do. He kind of learns from you. He sees you as a...
So is there any background? Is there any history of this Johnny being there or anything like that? I really hate this shit. I mean, it's so stupid because it's just people fantasizing. It's completely people fantasizing. Or is it? I don't know, but it definitely seems like that. It definitely seems like that. Johnny doesn't give a shit. Johnny's dead. Johnny's dead. Right? He died in that basement 100 years ago this very night. And he comes to feast on the corpses of old bags like this.
a teacher for him. And
DEI spirits.
he can go do what he wants to do. He can come around when he wants to be around you. And he really likes that.
You mentioned that there was a young woman that felt comfortable with me, you said? Or...
Yeah, she likes being back here with you when you work. When you go into the office, she follows you into the office. She likes meeting people and seeing new people come in. But you're her mom.
You mentioned there was a gentleman here, middle-aged.
Yes,
with
at the
some
top of
anger
the stairs.
and grief. Any thoughts about what happened to him, why he died, or what's happened in his life, why so much grief or anger?
He passed away from a stroke, the aftermath of a stroke. He lived for a while afterwards, but he really didn't fight to live, shall we say. He pretty much succumbed with the stroke.
So why would he be a ghost? Why would he be like hanging out? You know, why would he like hang out? Wouldn't I be like, or do all people turn into ghosts and then just hang? So there's billions of people that are ghosts, and then you tards can see them because of your special house. I don't think so. I think she's just retarded. This is
And
retarded.
the reason he did was his life had fallen apart. His wife had passed away, and then he had a son who committed suicide. And very hard for him, but he was also mad at him. How could he do that?
How'd he do it? Did he do the autoerotic asphyxiation? What we talking about? The old man? I'm
Did
sorry.
he go and leave him? And it just ripped his world apart. So he felt like there was just, everybody was leaving him. And he had a lot of normal grief, but inside that grief was the anger that they left him.
When you went down into the basement or cellar this morning, I don't know, entities, probably not the right word, spirits. How many spirits were down there that you picked up on?
I picked up on 2 that were there, male and a female.
So they don't come up?
They're down there.
Now, if that portal is closed off, they'll still remain?
The female will go to the light if that is your choice to release
Hey, Dan.
the male.
We're talking about pornography ghosts and I don't know, people that jerk it, I guess. People that jerk themselves to death. The autoerotic asphyxiation deaths. I'm just going to assume that's how he did it. There's no bullet holes in the wall.
Don't know. I'm not giving
You know.
him that choice to go to the light. He's not nice. He's a bad person. He's
So
a bad spirit.
What can be done with him?
He would be sent away.
To hell, I
Wherever he
imagine.
goes, he just has to leave, and he can't come back. So you have a lot of spirits. You have a lot going on, okay? And we've talked about those things. Let me talk to you.
Oh, the
a little-
Robin Williams thing, says Dan Snott. Did he? That's not how he did it. No, he just hung himself regular to like. Were his pants around his ankles? I mean, that depends. Because, you know, if he does it where he like rocks the chair and then like falls and then he's like swinging a couple feet above the ground, I don't think that's autoerotic asphyxiation. I think that's just him trying to kill himself. But if he's a little lower to the ground and his like tippy toes just can't quite reach, then and his pants are down, right? And he's dressed in like panties and a bra. And yep, those are the ingredients to that gumbo. I'd be like, this is a clear case of you know, a bad thrill job.
bit
you know?
about some choices you
Maybe it was the best orgasm he ever had, though.
might want to consider. I do not like the energy in the back there, okay? And I don't like the pathway. We can close it off and we can set up boundaries so that they
With what? Salt and sage and stuff? I guarantee you that's what it's going to be, right? This is just like one of those spiritual... If she was 30 years younger, maybe 40 years younger, she looks pretty old. She would be one of those crystal chicks, you know, with the crystal that she puts, there's one on her neck, and like there's one up her butt, and she's got them everywhere. She burns patchouli and stuff like that. She's not religious, she's not but she is spiritual, whatever the fuck that means. But no, she's just from a different generation where boomer, so she thinks she's special, and then everyone wants to pay attention to her all the time. And even the dead want to pay attention to her, which is convenient because alive people don't really want to spend much time with her.
They cannot come back on
So there you
the
go.
property.
Yeah, she's got grandchildren. She got children and grandchildren. They don't call. But you know who does call? Johnny from the year 1850.
And then the area down below with the really
He loves
dark,
Grandma.
bad energy down there with the portal. Okay. It's never a good idea to leave a portal open. And you never know.
How do you... There's no... What are you fucking talking about? What kind of portal, dude? What are you talking about?
What can come out of the portal. That's really a risky thing. So I would recommend simply closing the portal, leaving everything else the same.
Are we talking about the window that was cracked open this much? The rat-size opening window? Is that the portal you're talking about? Close it. Be done with it, right? Just, if that's what you think it is, just close that shit and be done. You know, I know it's a basement and it's like dank and damp and it really needs to get that airflow, especially because it like deters mold and stuff. But that doesn't matter if you're getting ghosts. You're getting evil ghosts that come in through the window. Please tell me that's what she's talking about. Kat, give me a break.
I had done some more digging and found an article online from the Baltimore Sun about the nearby Henryton Sanatorium. The article mentions that
Danston says Pessy should do Depressing Burger and just show Robin Williams movies. Like What Dreams Shall Come? Or, what is that one? Patch Adams? Yeah. Yeah.
child died on location.
That is depressing.
The body was incinerated. And
have you guys seen What Dreams May Come? Where it's like, okay, Robin Williams dies, and like his family's or their kids die, and then Robin Williams die, and then the mom is the only one left on Earth, and so she offs herself and ends up in hell, and then Robin Williams has to go to hell to save their mom from hell and bring her back to heaven. They're still all dead, though. They're still all dead.
Disposed of before the parents were notified.
Okay, fine.
At one point, 145 people died.
There's the bell, and let's see. Background noise for $5 says "Pet the kitty." Okay, is that good? Is that good? Is she happy? Is she happy now? No, look, she's still pissed. She's never happy. She's never happy, dude. She's just mad.
8-month period. That's
She's
well
just
over.
mad, and it's my problem, right? She's pissed off, and it's my problem. We have white patio furniture, and she's like, "This is your problem," and gets black hair all over it. Such a bitch. She doesn't even care.
Over 1/3 of the hospital's original patient capacity.
Leo says Cat was mad. That cat's mad, right? That's a mad cat.
On the pathway that were coming across the crossroads, going behind the house, and across the back of Sand Hill Antique Shop. That's where those spirits were coming from, that direction.
We quickly gathered crew to get back to the shop and close the portal. But I was curious, and I asked Rebecca how it felt in the shop.
I didn't want to be here. It just felt very heavy.
Thought says, yeah, that movie was fucked up. I saw it right after my mom died, and I was all like, ah, shit, maybe she didn't make it upstairs, if you know what I mean, to heaven. So Thought's mom's in hell. I'm sorry. That was probably insensitive. But there is like a 50-50 shot, you know? I don't know your mom, so yeah, I don't know what she was like, but I mean, I imagine 50% of people go to hell. I'm hoping I get to go to heaven, or at least purgatory, limbo. Limbo sounds fun. It doesn't sound like a sad place to be. The aborted babies go there, which might be annoying, but you know, there's limbo.
Very oppressed, like
I imagine. I don't know.
the spirits knew.
Did you
They
just
knew
do
what was
nothing
going
there?
on. They're around here, and they were sort of gearing up for No, I'm not going anywhere.
Despite what you heard, says, I have a cat like that. Her name is Danger Burrito. And that's a really good name. That's a really... For a black cat that, no, people call her like Midnight or Smoke or Evening or something like that. That's Danger Burrito right there. Okay. I like it. I honestly do like that name.
Where, the main focus at Sand Hill.
Critical Thought says, according to the Bible, it's more like 99%. That sucks. That sucks, dude. So what? You have to be absolutely perfect your entire... Not even like the apostles were perfect. They were assholes in their early life. Before they started following Jesus, they all sucked, dude. Every last one of them. So, and I imagine they go to heaven, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm assuming a lot, right? I'm assuming a lot. So maybe it's only the aborted babies that go to heaven. Again, ow! She bit me!
Was to close the portal. And also
Why?
there had been a tragedy that had occurred in that same area. And so that energy needed to be released. This is...
Background says, just push all the aborted babies into the corner under a bed. What are they going to do, right? A lot of them were like 2 weeks old or a month old. I mean, the older ones that are like 9 months old, that are like aborted in New York and stuff like that, they might put up more of a fight, but they're still babies. But most of them are going to be like this big. So I'll just smash. I don't think I'm going to heaven.
spiritual happening. And at this point, that
I mean, hell, dude. It's like, am I? They're not going to let me into limbo because I'm going to fist smash all the babies, right? Because, again, they're this big. Even the big ones, I have a big old turkey fist. That thing's going to hurt, right? I could smash a baby embryo. A baby fetus. Fetuses. Feti. So easy. It'd be like whack-a-mole. All the babies get smashed. Yeah. Yep. Gotta eat something.
is the time that I look and I see, but I also have to feel. Is there anything hiding? Is there anything trying not to go into the portal? And is it sincere? So as I'm filling the room with light, those are going into the light, those that have made
Thought says 144,000 from all the tribes of Israel to be exact, which is a loose term. If you haven't repented today, you go to the fiery place. What does that mean? I have to say, look, dude, I am honestly like, I'm sorry. Right. It's just like, I got to do that every day. I got to live my life, I do have to live my life. And like, the longer I live, like the more shit I'm going to have to apologize for. There's like there's a list of things in the Bible that you can't do. And a lot of them aren't like well known. Eating shellfish, for example. You can't eat shellfish. Can't eat shrimp, no lobster. Not that I'm huge on that kind of food, but, if I'm like, having like a shrimp cocktail or something, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but apparently not. I don't know. I'll just say I'm sorry every day. That's what I'll do. And I should be good. I should be good.
a different choice and decision.
If I do that, I'll end up in limbo where I can do the Congo smash a bunch of babies. Fetuses, not babies. They're not babies until they're born. But that's the argument, right? Keep doing it, right? I need some smashing. I need some stuff to smash. So keep it going.
Others are funneling back into that portal as fast as they can. It's almost like watching something in fast forward. And when I see that all is clear and there's nothing.
I'm going to come back as a ghost, and they're going to be like, wow, you're covered in ectoplasm. I'm like, no, that's baby. This is all baby.
Else coming, then I have to
There's millions of them up there, dude. It's gross, dude. They're like caught. You turn on the light and they all scatter under the fridge. It's crazy.
quickly close that portal, and it's like slamming a door shut. You close it very quickly so nothing else can come back out, and then you have to protect them.
Critical Thought says, I'd like to make a baby shower fetus cake for some chick who's had a bunch of abortions. Red velvet, of course. Or you can make it like the Hunger Games, where like the baby that will be born killed all the other babies. Or like a Highlander baby. There could be only one. That'd be cool. That'd be cooler. The other one's a little bit too macabre. You know? Do the Highlander one. See, it absorbs the power of the other babies. So the baby that actually gets born, instead of being fucked up, is powerful.
That
When I
But it's
first
gonna be
went
fucked up.
into the antique shop, I had immediately felt a difference after Harriet had worked. I could feel a difference in the lean-to area. I knew that something energetically had shifted there. So a lot of the work that I
She's rocking bangs. Yeah, bangs. Bing, 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 bing. Bangs. I don't know
specifically
if bangs work for her. Do you think bangs are working? Girls in the chat, what do you think? Do you think the bangs are working for that chick? I don't think they're working for her.
did was around the doorways and the outside of the home.
Ghosts are afraid of snakes.
On each door,
They might be rats. Honestly, they might be. If like a rattle, because like rats don't like rattles, right? Because snakes. But and also they get in through a portal that's this, and not even like a otherworldly portal. It's a door. It's a fucking window in the basement where rats can easily get in. I think it's rats, dude. I think it's not. I think it's rats.
whether they were open to the public or not, I put wards and
Leo says few girls can pull off bangs. Here's the thing, Leo, you are absolutely correct. And I've noticed the girls that can pull off bangs can pull off literally anything, right? Because they're pretty. Yeah, you know, ugly chicks can't like frame out their face like that because it looks weird. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Most women are not attractive. It's just part of it. That's a fact of life. God made women ugly. That's why they have makeup and like perfume and stuff like that to disguise themselves as much as possible, to trick men into thinking that God doesn't hate them as much as he does. You ain't getting one past me, ladies. So, yeah, bangs are very tough to pull off. But if you can pull off bangs, don't do bangs. There's so many better hairstyles that you can do, especially if you have a good-looking face like that. Don't do bangs. It's just like, it's a waste. It's a waste. The only time I've seen chicks pull off bangs is when they're already pretty. So do something else. Do something else, right? But not that weird shaved head thing. What is that? A pixie cut? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't shave the sides of your head. But whatever. Because I know that chick is putting out.
protections on.
Then that pathway is a part of the picture.
Critical Thought says like hot, nerdy, skinny types. Yeah. Yeah, bangs work for girls with like porcelain skin and glasses and big mouths. Big mouths? Big mouths? Big mouths. Yeah, hot, nerdy, skinny. Just hot, skinny. Just hot and skinny, right? Or just skinny. There's plenty of ugly, skinny girls out there. But there's a lot of chicks out there that would look amazing if they weren't so fucking fat. Dude, it saddens me deeply because there's so many girls out there with good bone structure, like decent enough skin, but when you get to a certain weight, your skin kind of, it doesn't look great. But good bone structure, pretty eyes, decent hair, but they're like 50, 60 pounds overweight. So why do you put so much effort into painting your face? Like, you spend 2 hours in front of the mirror going, 2 hours every fucking day before you go out. But you're not going to lose 60 pounds. You can spend an hour in the gym. That's even, you can spend 45 minutes in the gym. And then every day, if you do that every day, you're going to look way better, because makeup can't cover up fat. Right? And it's just a shame. It's just a shame.
Of why the energy didn't feel good in the antique shop. So
Dan Saw says Zoe Deschanel can pull off bangs. She could, back in her younger years. But you're proving my point with saying, because Zoe Deschanel is actually pretty. She's a pretty girl. She was a pretty girl. Maybe she still looks good. I haven't seen her in a long time.
around, and I found the perfect place where I could take it so it could come right from the direction that it originated and was coming on.
Hey,
But
hot
then
dog.
it would make a much wider swing, and it would go around the farms and around the homes that were there and into
Hog dog. Hog dog. So, like, most chicks can't pull off bangs, right? But the ones who can pull off bangs are already pretty. So why bangs? Why bangs? Why do bangs? If you're already pretty, why do bangs? Here's an example. The Fifth Element. What was that chick's name? She had bangs like that, but she was smoking hot. So, yeah, that's the thing. If you're ugly, all bangs are going to do is just pull attention to that, right? It's just going to pull, it's going to frame out your face, and it's going to pull attention right to your face, and they're going to be like, holy shit, you're ugly. You're an ugly. You are an ugly. You don't say person, because I don't think ugly people are people. But you are an ugly. So maybe if you have like a big schnoz or something like that, or like, you know, fucked up eyes that are way too far apart, don't do bangs. Don't frame out your face like that. If you have like a nice set of tits, try to have like long hair that goes over you, like Cousin It, or like the chick from The Ring, and then just like a huge set of knockers right there. Perfect, right? Then it doesn't matter. You can be as ugly as you want. Just hang your hair in front of your face and then have some big old honking tits. Perfect. Perfect.
nothingness, into farms and into woods. I could see lots of woods back there.
Because of my training and my background in druidry, I work a lot with
Druidry. Her training and her background in druidry. I don't know why, but that seems so appropriate for her. Is it the hair? Is it the red hair? Not specifically the bangs, but her red hair. Her coloring motif. Is that why I feel like she would play a druid class in any video game ever type of a deal? I just think that's very appropriate for you. So kudos. Kudos on that. You were an excellent druid character, okay? DPS, high DPS. Even, I'll give you that, right? We'll give you armor that's very scantily. We'll just bring the tits out, right? I feel like women have this ace in the hole, right? That they can get over a lot, right? They can have a bad hand, if you know what I mean, right? A bunch of 2s and like, some 4s and a 5 and stuff like that. But again, that's like a nice set of tits. It's all going to be okay. It's all going to be okay, right? Cover it up and then prop those bad boys up. Tell me I'm lying. Guys in the chat, tell me that's not a great idea. Tell me that's a not the perfect plan. It's so easy. It's just so easy to coast through life on the boobs. I don't get chicks that don't or fucking Billie Eilish wears a big fucking baggy ass t-shirt. And she's got bangs. And a baggy ass t-shirt. You're not doing yourself any favors. Okay? Let's get back to the druid.
Trees. They help to kind of ground out overwhelming energies. And there were quite a few trees around the property, and so
Background noise says Mimi from the Drew Carey show. Mimi Bobek. Yes. Why did you say that? Because we're talking about ugly? Oh, and Dan Snot says Mia Jovovich is too skinny and has no tits, but she's still pretty. So, yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so men that are attracted to big tits are peasant coded. What I mean by that is they're, they want a sturdy broad that is can make it through a harsh winter and still make sure their baby is well fed. That's not an insult in any sort of fashion, but the higher class individuals, they're more face drawn, right? They're more face drawn, and tits are very much a secondary a feature for them because it's very much more about the face for whatever reason. But I think we can all agree that an ass, you have to have an ass. Regardless of what social class you come from, you have to have an ass. That's just it.
I gave them blessings, but it wasn't enough.
The team and I went back.
Thought says Billie Eilish would look pretty if she wasn't trying so hard to be a liberal chick. That goes for like so many liberal chicks though, dude. And it's sad. Right? Because, like, a lot of these liberal chicks, you see the before and after they go to college. Like, before she's, like, in high school, she's, like, pretty, and she's got, like, the hair. And, yeah, she's not, like, the prettiest girl in school, but she's good. She's good stuck. But then she goes to fucking college, and then she, like, shaves the sides of her head and put the fucking thing in there, right? The big old thing like this. This shows you that I don't know what that shows you. What does that fucking show you? What is that supposed to communicate? What does that communicate? What does the big horseshoe in your nose communicate? I don't understand. And then, it's a shame. It's honestly a shame. I don't, maybe that is a deep topic that I don't want to delve into right now because we're talking about ghosts or whatever the hell we're talking about. Fuck it, why not? So those chicks, they're broken by media, right? Women are very communal creatures, right? And so they want to feel safe inside. They're like zebras, right? They only feel safe in herds. And so somebody has hijacked that mechanism in the female brain and used it against them. And this is the result, right? This is the result. You get these chicks that were pretty in high school, but then they went to college, gained 40 pounds, and they put a fucking thing in their nose and then are supposed to be edgy or sophisticated in some way. I don't exactly know where all the points connect, but I do know this is some sort of social contagion that has to be stamped out. How to do that, I don't know, but we will have AI coming down the pipeline now. Oh, by the way, look out for that. That shit's coming in hot. And maybe maybe AI will figure it out, or maybe it'll just replace women entirely. Because, I mean, they're not that useful. Women, they make babies. Yeah. Which is insanely useful. But if they didn't, what good would it? They're not going to like be good plumbers or anything like that. They're not good astronauts. They're not. They don't even drive cars very well. What else would we use them for? Political stuff? Well, that wouldn't even make sense though, because so maybe we'll just replace the women. But I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't want to live on a planet with just dudes. So maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's why.
Back to grab a couple closing questions with Rebecca and Steven.
Critical Thought says, or obvious face piercings, yes, or neck tattoos. Neck tattoos, I've never seen somebody pull off a neck tattoo, especially not a woman. Actually, I saw a guy with a neck tattoo that looked okay, but that is very niche, and that would be very difficult to have for your entire life. But yeah, most neck tattoos, basically all neck tattoos are a mistake. And I'm not against tattoos. Have your tattoos, just not on your neck or your face. It's too much. It's just too much. You need to be able to cover it up, Yakuza style.
And another interview with an ex-employee named Nick. Nick seemed nervous during his interview, and we also had
I've never seen your neck tattoo.
with our batteries and a
Send
light.
it to me.
But all in all,
send that shit to me, and I'll put it on the show.
Well, things seem to go pretty well.
If you want.
When
you don't
I
have
get
to.
back to my editing suite, I realize something has
Dan Snot says Amanda Bynes. Yeah, that's actually a perfect example of what happens. Because she was pretty in her earlier years, right? Up until she turned like 30 or something like that. She looked normal and, a Hollywood starlet with the wavy hair. And she was a little chunky, but nothing that couldn't be worked with. But whether it be sexual misconduct in Hollywood, which was almost guaranteed, or just a natural screw loose in her brain, she devolved, right? She devolved into some gross type of monster that sets fires on the street and like screams and gets drunk. She's insane. I hope she's doing better now, because she hit the wall hard. A lot of starlets that come out of Hollywood hit the wall pretty hard. And I think that's probably from like producers and stuff, like taking advantage of them sexually. Yeah. Yeah. Miley Cyrus. There you go. It just happens over and over and over and over again. When are they going to be like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't send our daughter into Hollywood. Maybe we should just be like, no. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Gone wrong. What we have is a file that's the size of a 40-minute clip, but it's only 4 minutes in length. The video starts out okay, but quickly goes bad. And all
this is the kind of guy that we don't need. We don't need that kind of guy. This kind. That guy. We don't need that kind of guy. We don't need the guy that like watches his wife get fucked by black dudes. That guy. Right here. We don't need that guy with his Funko Pops and stuff like that. And he's probably got those collector editions Lego sets. If you have those, I'm going to come into your house and take a very important Lego brick from each one of those and not tell you about that. And I'm going to leave. And then when you get a day off and you're like, yeah, I'm going to build my Star Wars Death Star. And then you put it all together and then you have one missing and it's like important. And then I laugh. And then your wife's boyfriend comes and comforts you and gives you chalky milk, I guess. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Right? You look like you used to be a chick.
all we have is audio. And that audio is choppy and nonsensical in nature. It was as if someone had been frantically trying to cut down our 40-minute interview during the interview. And what we were left with was 4 minutes of audio to try and decipher. when I went in and looked more closely, I began to notice little more.
No, not necessarily a load-bearing brick. It's just like, you know, like a jigsaw puzzle. You go to somebody who likes jigsaw puzzles, and you take one piece of the jigsaw puzzle when you go, and then that's ruined. That's a ruined jigsaw. They're gonna spend hours putting it together until they're standing over it and they're missing one piece, and they tear their hair out looking for that one piece. That's maniacal. That is true evil.
Moments, little bits that
true
stood
evil
out
is
to
subtle.
me. And I pulled
It's subtle.
those moments.
It's not always just smashing fetuses in limbo, right? No, sometimes it's taking a puzzle piece out of a 5,000 piece set.
And within a few minutes, I was done. I took those moments, those bits, and I put them together in linear order, and I played them back, and there was a message.
Did in turn the portal open?
Move the door again. A little afraid it interferes on lane 2.
That was very poor AI. That was very... Nope.
I'm on my way to the shop, and I can't decide if I should tell Rebecca about the message. So I call Harriet, and she says if I do tell her about the message, that I should take her away from the shop. Harriet's concerned that someone or something may be listening. When I get to the shop, I decide I want to tell Rebecca. So I walk her down the road under this huge tree, and I tell her the message. She's surprised, but she wants to hear the message. I have the message on my phone, but it's too loud by the road. So
Thought says, oh my god, that would be so mean. Just reseal the puzzle box. Yeah. I mean, a lot of times they'll open them. Yeah, I could reseal it. I could probably figure that out. Just bring my own, heat gun. Right? And just do it to everyone they have. Right?
we walk over to my car.
Especially if they're old. Because you know how old ladies like doing it? And so, the last thing they want to do is finish this puzzle before they die. And then they get all 4,999 pieces, and they put them all together, and then there's that one last piece. And then they just die unsatisfied. That's how you make a ghost. That's how you make a real ghost. That's right. That's how fucking you get haunted and shit. I'm gonna get haunted.
Sky turns dark. And there was a loud crack, and I looked over my shoulder to see the massive tree crashing to the road.
Okay.
And if it had happened moments earlier, we could be dead.
Didn't know.
It felt as if someone or something had been listening to our entire conversation and is...
You keep talking about how you feel and stuff like that, dude. Just talk about something else. Talk about, it could have been a coincidence.
As soon as we were finished, it reacted. I started...
So it's got bad timing, too. Why would you be afraid of this? Why is this spooky? Why is this scary? Has anybody ever died from a ghost? Has anybody ever died from a ghost? I don't think that's
thinking about how Harriet had told
I don't think
me to
that's
get away
happened.
from the shop. And I can't help but
Background noise has a good point. Why would a ghost care about you? They're a ghost, right? George Carlin has a bit about, why would your loved ones be smiling down on you from heaven? They don't have better things to do than smile down on you from heaven. But George Carlin's definitely in hell. So what would he know? At least I get to be smashing babies in limbo. That's right.
Maybe something's attached.
I'll be a fuck you, George Carlin.
Harry and Monica both
Splat.
agree that Rebecca...
There's literally millions of them, dude. I don't know what to do. They just keep popping back up, right? I splat one, and then it pops back into limbo. I'm like, I can't even get rid of them.
may have something attached to her. And that spirits may be traveling from the shop to their home and back. And so we pack up our bags and we head out to Rebecca and Stephen's home to finish what we started.
When you pull into the
That's a nice
driveway,
house.
you could feel the heaviness. It also had a dark feeling. Then as I approached
Again with the feeling. Again with the feeling stuff, dude. I need more than a feeling, right? I need more than a feeling.
house, that feeling just got stronger and stronger. And then when you open the door, it was like walking almost into a maze.
Doors were completely cut off, but not truly.
I think that's just the way the house was designed. Old houses, they have weird architectures and stuff, and some people find it charming, not like scary. I find it charming, right? Lots of nooks and crannies and stuff where you can bring a book or something like that, and you can. There's a lot of walls in between you. I don't like open floor plans. Not a huge fan of them. There's just it's echoey, and I like my nooks. I like my privacy. I like my quiet. Don't bother me. I'm smashing babies.
Windows that used to let in light were now shuttered. So this home, while it didn't necessarily have a portal in the same kind of way that Sandhill Antiques did,
It was a window.
it had a lot of the same energetic concerns.
It would almost feel like there was a dark figure standing over you, looking over you. So it was just a very uncomfortable, uneasy feeling. And you could see how the people living there would be affected by that.
My heart really went out to them because I was like, this is a lot to have to live with. Your home is your safe place. It's your sanctuary. And to not feel safe in your own home.
Change your hair. Just change your hair, dude. It's like, and look at these pencils. Look at these. That's too thin. That's too thin, isn't it? That's too thin for a thought. A strawberry. That's too thin. That's way too thin. Was that on purpose? That must have been an accident because there's no way. There's no way. Your mustache is thicker.
Gives a lot of power and control to different spirits and to different energies that may take advantage of that.
There was some energy in the basement, in the back room, that was very dark and very angry energy. And that anger was fueling so much energy and sending it up. And Rebecca and Stephen both, but mostly Rebecca, she was very vulnerable to that. And so that was being given to her every day, all the time. And then she would take it to the shop, take it to the antique shop and work there, come back home and get another dose.
This is one of the rare occasions where I have found that there's a lot of activity in your place of work. There's also a lot of activity in your place of home. And
Knobstock says she got a fire bush, and like, look, there's a lot of ginger hate out there, but I have ginger genes. And I grow this beard out, it's red. But also, I don't find gingers very off-putting. My wife does, but I don't find gingers to be gross. A lot of people hate gingers. I think they can be very attractive. I don't get the bigotry against gingers. And trust me, I am all for bigotry. But I just don't see it against gingers. They're a little crazy. And what's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that. I just don't understand people that don't like gingers. But hey, to each their own. I'm not the biggest fan of Asians. I don't think I'm alone in that, though.
both Rebecca and Stephen are noticing it, and they're also just desperately brute forcing trying to survive it. It was a big aha moment that I was like, oh, this place needs cleared and sealed as well in order for things to actually settle down and stop. Harriet and I came together to try to figure out a way to divide and conquer. I decided to work with the home and with the spirits of the land and Harriet.
Because she's a druid. I just wanted to bring that back up. She's a druid. I haven't seen like her. Is it considered a familiar? I would imagine she rode there on a bear or something, right? Like World of Warcraft. But no, I didn't see any special mount. Can you really call yourself a druid? You don't talk to trees? Maybe she does. I don't know.
Decided to work with Rebecca.
What I had already identified was that Rebecca had two spirits.
Branimeth with the space balls. She doesn't look Druish. Well done.
Both were in the upper chest
Well
and
done.
the abdomen, in that area of the body. As I began to work with her, I did notice that there was some really dark energy that was inside, very deep and stuck. And that had come from...
They're gonna les out. That's what's gonna happen. That's how they get the spirits out of the house. They're gonna have gross lesbian sex, like, and the smell is gonna drive them out.
early life trauma.
Quick, open a portal.
When the second one was released,
For
we
the
both
scent.
heard this loud pop. And she turned and looked at me with this shock in her eyes. And then she said, wow, I can't remember the last time I
get it,
had
Branna.
a breath of
I
fresh
get it.
air. Well, I knew that the pop was the release of the opening of the airways. And when the airways opened up, it released breath. And so then she was able to take a fresh breath, leaving her back whole again without any outside influence to be who she is and for her body to heal.
While Harriet worked with Rebecca specifically, I started from the top of the home and worked our way down.
Very effective. Do you get paid for this? There's a cross right there. That should work. Right? Doesn't that work?
Every single room, every single window,
I don't know why you're shaking the thing though.
every single door, every possible exit and entry point that you could think of.
It's getting stuffed.
That was what they had me check, clear, and then put a seal on. I saved the basement for last because I knew it was going to be the most difficult. And
It's always the hardest getting into the basement, right? Right, fellas? Right? High five? Oh, I shouldn't show my palm. Just because people steal my identity and stuff.
I remember
I get it. I like being me too.
a very, very difficult spirit that no matter what I said, no matter what I asked, and no matter what I demanded, would not move for me alone.
Maybe you should clean that fucking house up. Maybe you should clean that shithole up, and then you won't have rats. It's rats. You have rats, dude. This is a rat house. It's not ghosts. It doesn't stink because of ghosts. It stinks because there's rats around. They're shitting and pissing everywhere, dude. This is nasty. Run a vacuum, right? In fact, I would tear those carpets completely out. They're ruined. They're absolutely ruined. Also, is this... Do you see the ceiling in here? This is somebody's house. And it's got those tiles, right? It's got those tiles in there that's like in an office. What? Is this supposed to be a nice house? This looks like a dump.
And I asked for Harriet's help at that time.
She reached a point that she felt very uncomfortable. She didn't want to go back into
Yeah, Tejas, that was the basement is the pooper, yes.
the room. And I said, we have to take care of it.
Yeah.
We cannot leave
Yeah,
it.
bro.
She says, I can't get back in the room. And I said, well, yes, you can, but let's do it together. And so that's exactly what we did.
Thank
we went
you.
in.
Drop ceilings, right? Why have drop ceilings in your house? In the place where you live, you have drop ceilings. I'm sure not all of the tiles are complete either. A few of them are missing corners, which would be very easy for rats to get in and out of. Or ghosts. Ghosts. Look, there's a portal. No, it's a fucking hole. That's a hole, right? And the insulation's coming out.
I communicated immediately
Asbestos,
with
exactly.
the energy was
There's
there.
lots of asbestos.
I said, you're not welcome here.
Okay. All right, watch.
Must leave, and the minute it started to fight, it turned to confront us, and the minute it did that, we lifted it up. We lifted it out in one big swoop.
And immediately we sealed that room immediately after.
Okay. I'm sorry. That's silly. That was very silly. I enjoyed that.
That, 'cause
I don't
at
know
that
why.
point, that-
It was just they take it very seriously. And which you should if you I mean, but that's so fucking stupid. Change the drop ceilings. Vacuum the house. I change the curtains and, like, you know, open it up maybe. You could change the aesthetic of the entire house, and I bet it won't be haunted anymore. Nobody will say it's haunted, right? I think it's just gross in there. It's just gross. And honey, work on this, please. It's just terrible. It's terrible. The whole thing is awful. I mean, it's not like you're the ugliest person in the world, but you're doing a bad job. Honey, look at this woman. Look at her. Look at the I know, the bangs, and it frames out her long ass face. Her face is already long. And look at the tiny little eyebrows.
She thinks that she can cut her hair, and she cannot.
Tiny.
She's like, I cut my own hair.
Tiny little eyebrows.
Don't do that. Stop doing
It's
that.
terrible.
I hate, and those, okay, to be fair, she looks like a victim of the early 2000s with those eyebrows. Okay. Some women,
it's pencil thin.
Early 2000s, that was the style, and when you do it so much and you get rid of the hair so much, it won't grow back the same.
It won't grow back the same. You don't
won't.
think that's just how it is? But
Could be.
Regardless, I mean, she could thicken those bad boys up. She can stop with this. She can stop with that and, like, stop, because it's making your egg-shaped face look even longer. Right? You have pretty green eyes, and the shirt's really making them pop. The rest of it is just atrocious, though.
No, it's really not even that bad.
No, it is that bad.
Let me see a shot with her mouth closed.
No. Okay, fine.
House was.
There we go. That's better. That's better. Okay, Fiona. Let's see. Let's see. Well, what is your analysis now?
Yeah, she's not pretty.
Look at those fucking eyelashes. They're clumpy ass bitch. Oh my god. Did you go? You cheaping out on everything, which makes sense because she's not making shit as a ghost hunter or a rattle shaker.
She's a ghost hunter. That's what this is.
No, she's like a druish exorcist. Druid. Sorry. Druid.
Druid.
She's a druid. That's her class. She's a druid. So.
The healing. She's not a tank.
Not yet.
Finally cleared.
During this journey, I've heard many stories. I invited in two.
Goofy Butch said she did her bangs herself in the mirror drunk.
Yeah.
It makes
she's
sense.
Like, I can do this, and it looks adorable. Rocking it. No.
Rocking it. I'm pretty. No, you're not.
For clairvoyance.
That's gotta suck, being not pretty woman. It's gonna suck. Because then you're just like, well, my life's over.
I had a chair move, a bathroom.
I do feel bad for the girls that aren't so pretty. Because life is a lot better.
Say it into the mic.
Life is a lot better when you're pretty. But, you know, pretty doesn't last forever, so you can't.
But say the first part.
Life is a lot better when you're pretty.
No. You say you feel bad for the girls who aren't pretty.
I do. I feel bad for the girls that aren't pretty, that just got, like, the shit end of the...
Bad hand.
the genetics, you know, like some genes aren't good.
Stubby.
And then
Stubby chicks.
And then they tend to like mate with each other, right? The genes that aren't good. So then
you get worse.
Mm.
And then it's like the time machine from H.G. Wells. There's an upper class of surface people, and then below the soil lives these Gorlock type things. And it's a shame. It's a shame. I don't know what we're gonna do about that problem.
Wait.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Lost Tejas. Yeah. Okay. Listen, I won't just laugh at like ugly people. Like
you're 100% right, Tejas.
Okay.
You're
listen.
100% correct.
They
because she does maniacally.
Okay. Listen. listen. Okay. It's not just like you can't just be ugly. That's not why I'm gonna like laugh at you. You also have to be fat, and then I'm definitely laughing at you.
No. I've seen you laugh at ugly chicks. But also you're a little bit too kind sometimes because I've been like, woof, and you're like, oh no, she's pretty. I'm like, she's not pretty. She's gross. And you're like, yeah, no, she's pretty. Women have this thing where yeah, you do. Women are constantly gassing each other up.
Okay, listen.
Gassing each other up, but when you turn to me, you're like...
Okay, that's actually not true. Come on. I don't... Like, my friends, like, I don't shit talk the way my friends look.
No, you don't. But I have.
You do that so fucking mean.
Stop.
Like, my friends aren't bad.
No.
My friends are...
Well...
I think they're beautiful. Beautiful people.
Okay, moving on. We're going to watch this Ghost Hunter chick.
Storm latched me in, and I watched as a massive tree crashed to the ground within moments of disclosing a message. When we began...
Strawberry says, I thought women hated other women.
I hate some women. I don't hate all women. I really appreciate a lot of women, but some women suck. Just like some men suck. It's equal. Equal opportunity suck, you know?
I know, but if I had the opportunity, like, I'm sorry, women are boring. It's just, you know, that's why it's every man's responsibility to marry one. It kind of levels out the, you know, because otherwise you get pockets of boring that are just too boring. And you don't want the world to be like big pockets of boring and then like other places are a lot more exciting and stuff. You know?
I wasn't listening.
Women.
Sorry.
Am I right?
Am
I right, fellas?
I was reading thoughts.
I'm elbowing you. Anyways. Go call other women ugly.
Listen, my friends, some of my friends aren't as pretty. Aren't as pretty.
As me. You were gonna say that.
So he asked it. He said, "I bet your friends are 7 or higher." I think I'm a 7, right? So
no. Okay, all right.
So if I'm a 7, then some of them aren't quite 7s.
Mm-mm.
I think that's inaccurate.
Okay.
All right. So what's this about?
I don't. Well, okay. I was talking about smashing babies in limbo, and then
why?
Because they're aborted, and the aborted ones go to limbo, and they're only this big, and there's literally millions of them. So what am I supposed to do? You just stomp on them like cockroaches.
Oh no! You know the Orby guns?
The Orby guns?
The Orby
just tagging little babies. They did nothing wrong. Their only sin was their mom being a whore. And yeah, you know, so, but yeah, besides that, I think we were talking about rats or something. Anyways, moving on. Dan Snout says John is a 7. The fuck is that supposed to mean? Huh? You want to put that? You want to?
I don't have my phone.
Okay, so you're going to get a message from me. Critical Thought says, I was a bridesmaid at a wedding recently where the bridesmaids were fat and aggressively ugly. Aggressively ugly. My friend invited me thinking I wouldn't show and she would look awesome. It was awkward as fuck, and they definitely took it out all on me. Took it out on me all night.
Oh no.
That makes sense.
Oh, Thought. You know what? I understand what that's like, and that fucking sucks. I'm experiencing that thing that's kind of fake empathy.
Jess says Strawberry, they have beautiful hearts.
Beautiful heart. It's beautiful
Loud and
heart.
clear. Loud and clear. Okay? She's got a great personality. Right?
What the fuck ever.
Right? Like when a chick sets you up on a blind date and she's like, "Oh, she's got a great personality." None of them do. None of them do.
Thought. And I bet that you're not only prettier than them, but also way more intelligent. And so, whew.
Women
that's
gassing
rough
each
on 'em.
other up again.
Yeah, we hate each other.
I know why. I can tell. I can tell exactly why. Competition.
Yeah.
They
You will never hate a woman, like, upon view. You will never hate her if she is not a threat in your subconscious.
If she's not a threat. Oh, that's true. And some people are mean to you. I've seen them be mean to you.
Yeah.
That's the bell. Strawberry said cheers to the beautiful people for $2. So
Aw, thank you,
that's
Strawberry.
good. I want my cult to be not ugly. I'm like so serious about that. I'm so serious about that because like, you know, I don't think, like I said, I don't think ugly people are actually people or should have rights or anything like that. Is that weird? Is that a weird thing to think or say?
Yes, you dummy.
No, it's not.
Oh my god.
Have you seen ugly people? Okay, here's the thing. Somebody who is ugly, you can tell they have a low IQ because you can just tell they're just genetically inferior. All right? And I'm not like a supremacist. However, I do think the people that look like me are simply better. Are simply better.
Strawberry.
Okay, I'll do the thing. Okay, Strawberry for $2 says, and love to Jess. There you go. Thank you, Strawberry.
Thank you.
That $2 will go to
Me.
all the dollars
It all
go.
goes to
All
me.
the dollars go to her. I don't even buy things. I mean,
That is so untrue. But
I mean,
do-
if I
do
buy
most
something-
of things.
yeah, you buy most
I
of
am
the things.
Consumer of the family.
But if I want to buy something, I'm buying it.
Yes.
Right? The credit cards have my name on it. They're my name. It's my
Based.
credit.
Based.
Yeah, it's not even based. It's just a matter of fact. You know, I
that's
just
what
have much
based
better
was.
credit than you do. I just do. All right.
Nothing to happen. And I would have been happy to simply tell the stories and experiences of the people around Sand Hill. But things did happen.
Teo says John's just a tiny nipple mutant who made it out of the sewer and now looks down upon all the other freaks. LOL. Well, maybe one day you shall ascend as well, Tejas. I'll drag you out of that sewer. I'll put my hand back in. I'll drag you out of the muck. Just like I will for each and every one of you. Stick with me. I'll make your life better. Right? I made your life better, didn't I? Yup. Say it into the mic. Say it for the people. Say it.
I mean, yeah.
Say it. Say it. We can't admit. It's just so funny. Give me that.
It was a hard shoot, both physically and
Pamonkey.
mentally. And I am reminded of something that
But Monkey, you're so late. We like covered so many topics.
What Rebecca said to me about ghosts.
Takes a lot of tenacity to find them, but then what you find out, you may wish you didn't know.
My hopes for Sand Hill Antique Shop would be that someone who comes there would want to shop.
Maybe leave immediately because of that nasty, gross ass carpet and the drop ceilings and all the holes in the walls and shit like that. Dude, look at the carpet. Look at that gross carpet. Yeah, I think it's haunted too. Haunted by a messy ghost.
There. I would want them to come in, look around, enjoy the
Monkey says I slept all day. Which makes sense because that's what I think a lot of you are doing.
experience, feel good and feel safe in that.
What'd you do last night? What'd you do last night, Pamonkey? It's so much. Oh, a new job? Oh, congrats. That's cool. That's cool.
For me,
You don't want to end up like me doing this, right? Because it's just not fulfilling. And it doesn't pay anything. But at least I'm not a druid, ghost cleanser, exorciser with terrible bangs.
my hope is that things will finally settle down.
Yeah, hit that dab.
Areas that used to
Yeah, why not? Just dab it up. Dab, dab, dab. Dab, 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 dab. Dab, 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 dab. Hopefully your dabber's bigger than mine. I need a bigger dabber.
have really negative spirits and negative energy. That's gone. That's been cleared. And we have definitely interviewed very specifically the spirits that wanted to stay.
There are some spirits there, and I think they add character and a certain warm and cozy feeling, if you will, to the environment. I think they also are protection, so I think they make the place feel safe and inviting, and that's what I'd like to see happen, and everything to survive and thrive.
But they're ghosts. They're dead already. What do you mean survive and thrive? They're dead. They're dead ghosts. They require nothing to survive. They're dead. Anger wells up inside of me.
My hope is that
Anger.
their business will prosper.
I'm sorry.
But my worry too
I don't
is
like idiots.
if folks are
And every day I look in the mirror and I just get pissed.
used to feeling the haunted feel of a place, you can miss that a little bit. And so you can find yourself both consciously and unconsciously starting to call that back. So trying to have the spirits hold.
Teo says the Ghost Registration Act of 1953 requires all specters in the United States to register accordingly. So they need their ghost card or something like that, or else they're going to get deported back to the spirit realm, which they should. Because what are they doing? They're not paying taxes. They're just squatting. Honestly, they're squatters. And I hate squatters. I hate squatters.
Strong wards and boundaries. We will see. We will see how long it stays.
As we say goodbye, I'd like to leave you with a warning from Harriet that lingers in my mind.
This guy's gay. Right? Is that a lazy eye? Is that eye lazy? Am I being too judgmental? Is that the whole show?
I know beyond a
That might be the
shadow
show.
of a doubt there is evil. Evil is present, and evil is a force to reckon with. We're best to stay as far out of the way as possible.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. No one got hurt. Nobody got injured. You just felt something creepy. You felt it. And it's probably just in your stupid, stupid, stupid head. You just walked into a place that was old and creaky and stuff like that. And, probably infested with rodents. It smelled bad because the carpet was disgusting. There's probably mold everywhere. I'm pretty sure there's asbestos everywhere in that house. Maybe you had the right idea by being afraid of it because it's a cancer trap. So maybe that's more intuition. and not exactly ghost experiencing. Jess thinks she's got great intuition and stuff, and I just go with her on it. Because what's the point in arguing? What's the point in arguing? There's no point. Never, never, ever argue with a woman, because you're never gonna win. You will be right 100% of the time. Well, there is that occasion you may have done something stupid, but let's just say 99% of the time you will be right. But that means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. So there's no point. There we go. By Chris McGinnis. By Chris McGinnis. An Irish. Another Irish. There's a lot of redheads in that. And I don't know. Well, we kind of finished up relatively on time, which I'm about. I'm for that. And I hope you guys are for that too. I think we're going to go on a spooky bender this week. I got a few lined up that will be more or less along those lines. I mean, I am the Incredible Sulk. So, I hope you guys are here to join me. And I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode. And I hope you learned something. And I hope you take that into your lives and be like, I will not cut my own bangs. That's a very serious point. Anyways, guys, I will be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. and then you will see me on Daywave at 10 a.m. tomorrow, because this is what I do. This is my job. This is what I do. And I hope to see you guys there. Until then, I hope you guys have a great evening. Stay strong. Stay brilliant. Stay beautiful. Drink a lot of water. Get a good night's sleep. And take care of yourselves, because I care about you too. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you. Good night. Start that over.
I'm an incredible soul, unhinged and enraged like a bulldog's fierce growl. I'm spitting fire, burning through these trees, questioning the world, unraveling conspiracies. Talking about Bigfoot, but that's monster too. Government lies, they're feeding me their goo. I'm diving deep into this rabbit hole, uncovering the truth, setting fire to their control. I got small nipples, but my voice is loud, born like thunder in this crazy crowd. They say I'm crazy, but I call it woke, unraveling the madness with every word I spoke.